For lesson 6, we're going to start talking about inequalities. So far this chapter we've been working with equations, but we did talk about what an inequality was back when we did vocab in section 1. So we use our inequalities to compare quantities rather than talking about them being equal. So first off, let's talk about some of the words, our keywords that you might see. So if you see greater than, this is our greater than, or sorry, this is actually our lesson. Less than symbol points to the left. Some keywords you might see would be is less than or is fewer than. Next up, pointing to the right is our greater than. I know it's kind of hard to read there. That's greater than. Keywords, again, is greater than or is more than. And next up, we have less than or equal to. So our keywords is less than or equal to, is no more than, and is at most. And last up we have is greater than or equal to, for our greater than or equal to sign, is no less than, or is at least. Okay, go ahead and pause the video real quick here and get those all filled in. Okay, so we want to write an inequality for each sentence. So part A, the DVD cost more than $15. Well, if I say D for my DVDs, so more than, they're greater than sign, 15. Part B, a dog weighs less than 50 pounds. Okay, so if I want to say, use my X, so is less than 50. 1A, Amelia sold more than 40 magazines. There's my more than. Let's talk about magazines. I'm going to use an M this time. So M is greater than 40. 1B, Gino sent less than 35 texts yesterday. Talking about text, so I'll use a T this time. So less than 35. And finally, 2A, you must be at least 18 years old to vote, so at least. So talking about age, so I'm going to use an A. If it's at least, it's greater than or equal to, because if you are 18, you can vote, but if you're less than 18, you can't. So greater than or equal to. Make sure you know which direction everything's pointing. Sometimes you guys can say it correctly, but then when you go to put the symbol in, you've done everything right, and then you put your inequality sign the wrong way, and the problem's wrong. Okay, so now we've worked with setting some of them up. Let's talk about graphing them. So first off, if it is less than or greater than, we're talking about an open circle. If it's less than or equal to or greater than or equal to, we're going to be talking about a closed circle. Okay, so A is greater than 6. Greater than tells me open circle. And then think about which direction will we be pointing. If we are greater than 6, well 7, 8, 9, 10, they're all greater than. So we're going to make a line to the right. Make sure you finish it off with an arrow to show that it keeps going. Make sure you can see that you have a line there, kind of colored in darkly. Okay, part B, X is less than or equal to -1. Okay, there's my key number. Go to my -1. Less than or equal to tells me it's a closed circle. Less than, where are my numbers less than -1? That's to the left. Think less is left. And again, finish it off with an arrow to show that it keeps going. Alright, now we've graphed a few. Let's talk about writing an inequality. So write an inequality for each graph. I'm just going to use an X for both of these. So X, open circle to the right. Well, if it's to the right, I know it's greater than. Since open circle, it's just greater than. And my key number here is a 2. Then for down here, again, talking about X, my key number is -3. Again, going to the right, so it's greater than. Closed circle, so this time it's greater than or equal to. And we already wrote it up here real quick, but going over our sticky notes, when inequalities are graphed, an open dot means the number is not included, so less than or greater than, and a closed dot means it is included. So like for this situation, For our solution set to this problem, 2 would not be included because 2 is not greater than 2. Versus down here, -3 would be included because -3 is greater than or equal to -3. So make sure you know what the closed dot, open dot stand for. Alright, that one was pretty short. That's the end of section 6.